Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to switch things up for this one. I'm looking to test you, the viewer, on your baseball knowledge with this fun fact quiz. Can you name the first 9 players to win back-to-back MVPs? That's right, back-to-back MVPs. Hint, those 9 players can field a whole baseball team. Now, before we get started, I'd like to give a special shout out to Vintage Card Steve, who helped me get to almost 100 subscribers with a shout out in a recent video. And secondly, to Victor, who asked me this question about 2 months ago and then it helped lead to this video. Now, obviously, I'm going to use cards from my collection along with a few new ones I picked up for this video. Also, this cool looking frame to help with visual aid for the players and the positions they'll be fielding. Okay, let's start things off. It'll be in chronological order, from earliest back-to-back winner. Appropriately, it'll be starting at first. He won MVPs in 1932 and 1933. And if you need one last hint, he played for the American League. That's right, Jimmy Fox. Here's a Diamond Star card of Jimmy Fox. It'll take a lot to dethrone this one as far as my favorite card of his goes. I'm gonna stick this one up here. Fox started off as a catcher and was later on in 1929 installed at first base. Ironically, that's when his career took off. In 1932, that's when he won his first MVP, but he fell short of the Triple Crown. He made sure to back it up the following year with his second MVP and his first Triple Crown. With power displays that were only compared to Ruth, he was a country boy who lifted up tree trunks and heavy pails of nails in order to gain his Hulk-like strength, appropriately being nicknamed the Beast. Next up, I have a pitcher who won MVPs in 1944 and 1945. And if that's not enough, he pitched for the American League. Give up? Al Newhouser. Here's my newest pickup, a 1953 card of Hal. Looks like it'll grade nicely. It's very sharp with decent centering, and the red border is very neat with sharp corners. Struggled finding a card of his in his prime until I finally came across this one. Hal suffered from control issues early on in his career, but once he learned the slider, coupled that with a new pitching mindset, he was transformed into the league's best left-handed pitcher. Dominating the league throughout the mid-40s, he was ultimately unhittable. This transformation helped him go from Hurricane Hal, known for being a sourpuss always throwing tantrums in the clubhouse, into Prince Hal, known for ruling the league with the special pitching arm he possessed. Back-to-back MVPs appropriately were some of the results of his dominance. Next up at number 3, playing catcher, he won MVPs in 1954 and 1955. Need another hint? He played for the American League. That's right, you guessed it, Yogi Berra. Here I'll share with you my 1953 Bowman card of Yogi Berra. It's the only card of Yogi Berra I own, but I hope to add a few more of his in the future, and also a few more portrait cards of this 1953 set from Bowman. Yogi Berra was only 5'7", but he had the heart and moxie of a giant. Berra, much like Vladimir Guerrero, was known for being a bad ball hitter. His philosophy was, if I can see it, I can hit it. His MVPs weren't earned for just his great offense. Behind the plate, he was known for calling a good game and also having one of the strongest throwing arms. After winning his second MVP in 1954, the Yankees made him the highest paid Yankee with $48,000. And he only went out in 55 by backing it up with another MVP. Ultimately, Yogi goes down as one of the greatest catchers in baseball history. Next up at 4, I have an outfielder who won back-to-back MVPs in 56 and 57. He also played for the American League. That's right, Mickey Mantle. Here I'll share a 1961 Topps card of his, grade 5. Simply love this pick of Mickey. I also like the way that the SGC holder contrasts with the background. Mickey, prior to 56, had flashes of greatness, but was hampered by injuries. He finally stayed healthy, and the result was a Triple Crown year, coupled with the well-earned MVP. He concentrated the following year more on his average, only to keep up with the greatness of Ted Williams. He fell second to Ted's .388 average with .365, but he was recognized for his offensive brilliance with back-to-back MVPs. Do you also know he only hit for 5 double plays that whole year? Pretty amazing back control for an offensive juggernaut known as the Commerce Comet. Next up at 5, I have a shortstop who won MVPs in 1958 and 59. He also played for the National League. Did you guess right? Ernie Banks. Here I have his 1954 Topps card. It's a rookie card. I simply love this card, probably one of my top 10 in my PC. Simply love his winning smile in this card. Mr. Cub, Mr. Sunshine. He transcended the position ruled by players smaller in stature, known for being predominantly slap hitters. He put up power displays matched by power hitting positions. In 58 and 59, they were arguably two of the best years put together by any position player. Matched by his awesome display on the field with his glove, he proved to be a rare, all-around field general. There's nothing else I can add to the MVP winner in 58 and 59. The man who lit up Chicago with the winningest smile that just shined. Next up at 6, I have an outfielder who won back-to-back MVPs in 60 and 61. He played for the American League, and by looking at his stats, I'm pretty sure you already know, it's Roger Maris. Here I have his Topps 1961 card of his. It's the only card I have of Roger Maris. I hope to add a few more in the future, but by far I think this is one of the best cards he has. Roger Maris is well known for his power display. What mainly goes unnoticed is the fact he was also a great glove, bringing home a Gold Glove in 1960. He was also a great situational hitter, often sacrificing his average in order to move a guy over or obviously bring one home with an RBI. Alas, his power is what made him a household name, contributing to the acknowledgement of back-to-back MVPs. And in 61, of course, in which he broke the home run record with 61. Next up at 7, playing second base, winning MVPs in 75 and 76 for the National League. Give up? Joe Morgan. Here's a 1976 Topps card of Joe. Simply love this card. It's sharp, nicely centered. I think it'll grade high if I ever decide to get it graded. And ironically, it's from one of his MVP years. Joe Morgan was one of the greats who played with the Big Red Machine. With the likes of Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and Dave Concepcion, you would think you can easily be forgotten. But with a great bat and great glove, Morgan made sure you'd take notice. 127 stolen bases between 75 and 76 were another reason why he didn't let you forget. He's also the first National Leaguer to win back-to-back MVPs for second base. He was a player that could do it all and was one of the main cogs of that famous Big Red Machine. Next up at 8, I have a third baseman who brought home MVPs in 1980 and 81, for the National League that is. None other than Mike Schmidt. Here I'll share with you a second year 1974 Topps card. I picked this up for this video and it's centered nicely, nice sharp card. If I ever decide to grade it, I think it'll grade well. Mike Schmidt was a third baseman who could do it all. Back-to-back years of third base dominance. There wasn't a better player at third while he played. His offensive prowess, coupled with his big-time power bat, were a few of the reasons why I helped him bring home 6 Silver Slugger awards throughout his major league career. He also made it hard to ignore his Gold Glove play at the hot corner. I appreciate a player with cat-like reflexes where it's needed most. Between him and Greg Nettles, I can't decide who was the better of the two third basemen who could play defensively. He was a true great slugger who garnered many MVP votes throughout almost every season he played. Between him and Nolan Arenado, it's hard for me to decide who are two of the best all-around third basemen to ever play the game. But for now, I'd like to think it's Mike Schmidt because he's the only one that brought home back-to-back MVPs throughout his career. Now, last but not least, here at number 9, playing for the outfield, winning back-to-back MVPs in 82 and 83 for the National League. Give up? Dale Murphy. Here I'll share with you a 1980 Topps card, second year card of Dale Murphy. Picked it up for this video. It's beautifully centered, sharp corners, and it'll probably grade like an 8 or higher if I decide to ever get it graded. Now, as for Murphy, he struggled in finding his groove when he came into the league. Moving around positions, he finally settled in at outfield. That's when it all finally came together for Murphy. He went from an error-prone player to a Gold Glove caliber player who made several All-Star Game appearances and finally also winning MVPs. Not since Hank Aaron was someone from Atlanta showered with so many awards. His newfound success made him one of the best in the league. And in 82 and 83, yeah, those were years he ran away with several awards, from Gold Gloves to Silver Slugger awards, and of course those MVPs. His greatness, unfortunately, wasn't for very long, but not many in baseball can have a nice window of success to which they can look back at fondly and say, yeah, I had a heck of a career. So there you have it, the first 9 players to win back-to-back MVPs. It's a beautiful 9, and what a team they would have made. How'd you do? Did you get 100%, 90%, 60%? Well, if you did badly, I'm gonna give all of you a little extra credit. Here goes. Can you name the last 5 players to win back-to-back MVP awards? I'll give you a second. Time's up. Barry Bonds. Here I have his 1990 Donruss card. I simply love the red, black, and yellow colors contrasting here. Barry Bonds won back-to-back MVPs for 2 separate clubs. The Pirates in '92 with a very nice season, and the Giants in '93 with an even better season. I vividly recall countless arguments on who was better, Barry Bonds at left or Ken Griffey in center. There's no clear-cut winner here. You could take your pick. Barry Bonds with his Gold Gloves, his Silver Slugger awards. I mean, he could do it all. And then he goes and takes his talents to San Francisco. Wow, his star just shined brighter. He was a sure shot Hall of Famer. Prior to steroids, that was. But I still appreciated watching one of the true greats for the game. I mean, look at his physique here. Just a normal built guy who could hit 46 home runs. He was just great. Next up, Frank Thomas. Here I have his 91 Leaf card with his follow-through finish here of the Big Hurt. Frank Thomas put up some gaudy stats. In the 90s, I enjoyed watching him play. His greatness shined with some monster home runs. I vividly recall stopping whatever I was doing whenever he stepped to the plate. It was just a thing of beauty to watch him wreck games and crush pitchers' dreams. But there's nothing I can't say that Hawk Harrelson can't.
That's it out of here. Center field, way back. You can put it on the board. A 2-run homer for Big Frank Thomas. Sox lead it 6-5. Yes. Breaking ball hit deep into center field. Griffin goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. A grand slam for Big Frank Thomas. Yeah.
Barry Bonds. Here I have his 1993 Upper Deck SP card with a beautiful follow-through finish swing. Now this one should have been a gimme, a layup. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back MVPs. I mean, seriously, they were a little bit steroid-aided, but gaudy nonetheless. I'll let this next clip summarize his godlike metahuman strength.
Busted his bat, Encarnacion is back. Make it 6-0-1. Can you believe it?
Can you believe that?
Shattered the lumber and hit a home run.
I've seen home runs hit when the batter has broken his bat, but I don't think I've ever seen a home run hit when the bat has been shattered that badly. He can't believe it. He'll remember 6-0-1. Look at that. Part of the bat in his hand, the barrel out toward first base. Never seen a bat broken that badly on a home run.
Albert Pujols. Here's a 2010 Topps card of him admiring a home run. It was probably looking like an upper deck tank job. Albert Pujols put up some beautiful numbers in his back-to-back MVP years in 08 and 09. These numbers were pretty much the norm ever since he entered the league. From his rookie year, I often wondered if there would be a season in which he let up. The answer was simply no. I was playing fantasy league throughout these years, often hoping to land the first pick. It seemed whoever drafted him had a good shot at winning it all. For the whole decade, he was a model of consistency, putting up crooked numbers all over the box score. His back-to-back MVPs were 2 of what should have been way more, because in looking back, his numbers were good enough to win in each and every year. Unfortunately, leaving St. Louis seemed to be his kryptonite. But at least through the 2000s, you can point to Pujols and say you witnessed one of the greatest to ever play the game. Miguel Cabrera. Here's an 04 rookie card of Miguel Cabrera. Unfortunately, I don't own one of him in his Tigers uniform, so this one I have to do. Miggy put up some beautiful stats in his back-to-back MVP years, and to look at them, they're pretty much identical. Cabrera put up numbers in his first MVP year that led the league in almost every category, thus also helping him earn the Triple Crown Award, the first to do so since Carl Yastrzemski did it in 1967. He was also able to win it over the likes of Mike Trout. Coming out the following year, everyone wondered what he would do for an encore, pretty much a carbon copy of the previous year. This helped him bring home the second MVP, and also putting himself alongside other Tigers greats that played the game. These 2 seasons helped bring to light how prominent he was in comparing him to the likes of Al Kaline, Hank Greenberg, and even Ty Cobb. 2012 and 2013 will forever go down as 2 of the greatest back-to-back MVP years by any baseball player. Now this concludes my back-to-back MVP video. I hope you enjoyed it, and most of all, I hope you passed that quiz, because if you did so, then that means you're a baseball aficionado. Smash that like button, subscribe, and comment. And look for some of my future videos. I got a ranking, a pre-war, and a few others in store. So until then, have a great day and happy hunting when it comes to baseball cards.